Give me the tea. What's the drama? What's happening in your life? I want to know.
So I just saw Khloe Kardashian having a conversation about women dating married men, and I have to do my story time about the married man that I dated unknowingly at first. Okay, we listen, we don't judge. So when I was 19, I had met this police officer, and I was just so smitten with him. Okay, and he asked for my number, gave him my number. We were talking, and during the conversation, I did ask him, are you single? Are you married? He said he was single. He said he had one son, and he had full custody of that son because of whatever was going on with his son's mother at the time, right? Okay, so a year or so passes where it's like, I'm meeting up with him. We go on a date here and there. Whenever we would be together, we would go to hotel rooms. Now, I found that to be like, why are we always going to a hotel room if you have a place? Like, he said he owned his own home, and he told me that we couldn't go to his house because he didn't just bring women around his son who he didn't feel like they were going to be committed. He wants to know that we're going to be committed before he introduces women to his son, because he just doesn't want to have different women meeting his son. So to me, that made sense, right? Because we were not official. But mind you, we had been talking for over a year. I know you're dumb is coming. It's okay. Yes, I was young and naive. So I was talking to my sister, right? This is after we had been already talking for like a year. Now, by that time, I ended up getting my own place, and he would come over to my place. So I never found it alarming that I could never go over to his place because I had my own by this time, right? But for that first year, whenever we would be together, it would either be we would go out for a date or we would go to a hotel room. I was never allowed to come over to his house, right? So then my sister was doing my hair one day, and she was asking me, she's like, you was so gone over this dude. She like, who is this guy? She like, so is he your boyfriend? Like, what's tea? So I told her, I said, no. I said, we haven't really committed. I'm like, I feel like we're getting there. I was Delulu, hunty. Okay. I was like, I feel like we're getting there. I'm like, but he wants me to prove that I'm like mature, that I'm old enough. Mind you, at this time, I'm like 20. And I kind of was just doing my own thing. Like, didn't really have any direction, didn't know what I wanted to do in life, and like was just living, period, having fun. And so he pushed that on me, like, you're immature. So like, I don't know how this is going to work. Like, I own a home, I have my career, like my son is like, 10 or so at this time, whatever. And so it motivated me to go and get my shit together. Okay, which is why I ended up getting my own place, because I wasn't living by myself at the time. And he was like, you ain't even got your own place, but you talking about you want to be in a relationship. Like, I need to see that you serious, y'all. Anyway, so my sister was like, okay, she like, so have you ever been to his house while she doing my hair? She like, have you ever been to his house? And I said, no. I said, I've never been to his house. I said, she like, why you have never been to his house? So I told her, I said, because like he told me that he don't want me to come because he have his son there. So then she was like, okay. She like, so have you met any of his friends? I'm like, no. I'm like, he never really invites me out. He said he don't really go out like that. She like, so you have never met no barbecue, no nothing, like no holiday, no nothing. And I was like, no. I said, because he feel like I'm just a little bit too immature. Like I need to grow up a little bit, So in my mind, I agree with him. I'm like, yeah, he want the best for me. Like he want me to show up and be on my 10 toes. Okay, wait. So then she told me, she said, have you met his son? I said, no. I said, I never met his son. I said, because he told me like he just don't want different people around his son. Like he want to know that like you are official with him. She like, but you're not just somebody. Like you've been talking to him for over a year now. So like, that's not strange to you? And I'm like, no. Like at this point, I'm getting mad at her. Like, why you pressing me? Like he said what he said, okay? And in my mind, I'm thinking like, we working on it. I'm gonna get there. So she told me, she like, have you ever asked him if he was married? I said, yes. She like, Dominique, she like, he's married. I'm trying to tell you. She like, sis, I know how this shit go. Like, he's married. He's seeing somebody. I'm like, no, he's not. I said, why would he lie? Like, he don't have no reason to lie. She like, girl, if you've been talking to him for over a year, she like, you're not just anybody. So all those excuses that he's giving you, he pretty much know that, he's going to continue to talking to you. So why you can't come over to the house? And I'm like, she like, call him right now. She like, call him and just ask him, is he married? And I said, she even went as far as to ask me, like, have you seen his ring finger? Like, I'm like, he don't wear no ring. She like, do you ever see like, cause he was dark complexion, right? So she was like, do you ever see like a thing on his ring finger, like as if he takes the ring off? I said, no, like, it's not like that. So then she was like, okay, call him right now and ask him if he's married. Ooh. So I called him. And so I'm like, hey, I was like, are you married? And his response to me was, why you ask me that? Ooh. When he responded with that question, the alarm bell started going off in my mind, because I feel like, why would you not just say no? So I'm like, I'm just asking you. He like, nah, like I already told you, like I wasn't married. And I'm like, okay. And I told him, I'm like, cause my sister, yeah, I'm like, my sister wanted me to ask you, and she just so like saying that, like, why can I not come to your house? Like, how come? Y'all, I was so dumb. So I done dropped like all the tea to him, saying that my sister, basically wanted me to ask because she said shit not adding up. And he told me, like, stop putting people in our business. Like, she don't know what we got going on. Like, like, and I'm just like, yeah, she don't. Y'all, we listen and we don't judge, okay? I was really young. So then, from there, I was like, it just kept sitting with me, right? So I just kept researching. And I remember, because when me and my sister were talking, she was like, do you have him on social media? Y'all, I didn't even have this dude on social media. And the reason why I did it was I did find his Facebook page, but he told me he's never on it. And from like the way that he had his Facebook set up, it was so private that it looked like he hadn't posted for a really long time. So I did look, and I'm like, okay, he ain't posted for a long time. At that time, I didn't know that when you private your page, like it only shows what you want people to see. And if that's from 3 years ago, then that's what you're going to see. But they actually could be posting in that Facebook page and you just don't know it. So mind you, we year 2 now, right? Like well into year 2. And I'm just really, we're still talking, but I'm really searching now, because my sister is just in my ear talking about, girl, you stupid, you stupid, you stupid. And then shit is not really adding up, because now I'm like, we year 2 now. Like this shit, what's going on? What is we doing? So mind you, no holidays, no birthdays, none of that, right? He, on certain days, I'm working, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm not doing anything for my birthday, this and that, right? So then I said, let me go back to this Facebook. I said, this Facebook is going to be the gold mine. Okay. So what happened was I went to his Facebook, and even though I couldn't see any of his friends, that picture that he had that was posted like all those years ago, I clicked on it and I looked at the people who liked it, right? He has a very common last name. His last name is Smith. And his name is like, even his first name, I'm not gonna tell you his first name, but his first name and then last name being Smith is so common that it's like Jane Doe, it's kind of like one of those names. So anyway, I'm looking at the picture and I look at all the people who are liking the picture, right? And I'm seeing, this and that. And I'm like, it's just really nothing there, So I'm like, okay, forget it. Something kept telling me, go back to that picture. So I went back to the picture. And I came upon this young lady who had the same last name, Smith, and I clicked on her page, and voila, y'all, the cover photo was him. It was a Christmas photo, family photo of him with her and 2 kids. He had a whole nother kid that he didn't tell me nothing about. Okay, so I am living, mind you, this like 2 a.m. As soon as I found out, I called my sister. I'm blowing her phone up. It's 2 a.m. She not answering. I keep calling. I'm like, girl, you was right the whole time. I said, this motherfucker is married. I said, I'm finna send you these pictures right now. Now, her page was a little bit more open, right? So I'm going through her shit. I'm seeing they doing Christmases together, anniversary trips together. Now, when he would tell me that he would be going on trips, he would say he was going with his boys. He going with her. They live together. They are a real couple, family couple, right? Everybody congratulating them on this, congratulating them on that. And the son, y'all, this shit get worse. Like, I'm gonna do a part 2 because I'm running out of time. Y'all got to listen to the response that he gave me when I called him and asked him about his wife. All right, so now that I know that he's married, I'm trying to figure out how to bring the information to him to ask him to see if he's now going to be honest now that I have hardcore proof that he been lying to me, right? And so I was so hurt, y'all. I was crying. I was devastated because in my mind, I'm thinking like, by this time, it's been like 2 years or so, and I've asked you repeatedly, are you married? And you've continuously told me no. Even when my sister, like I told you, like my sister, like this shit not adding up. And I'm thinking like he would at least have enough love for me to at least at some point be honest, like she really think this shit going. So I'm telling you, I have made life changes and all that shit to try to prove to this motherfucker that I'm mature enough to be the woman that he need. Okay, I went and got my place because he would tell me like, you know, like you need to grow up a little bit, like you a little bit immature. I met him at 19, right? He like, you a little bit too immature, like you're not living by yourself, like what's your dreams? Like, you know, like I own my own home, like I got my career popping, like I got my son, like I'm doing good, I'm traveling. He like, what are you doing? You know? So I'm like, I'm finna prove to this motherfucker, like, what? You think it's a game? Okay. So I got my place, enrolled in school, all that shit. Trying to prove to him that it's like, I'm the one for you. You see how hard I'm working now to show you that it's not a game? Delulu, naive, whatever. So I was like, okay, how am I going to tell him that I know that he's married? I don't want to text him because I want to talk to him. I want to like give him the information over the phone because I want to see what he's going to say. I don't want him to have time to think about what he's going to come up with. Like I want to ask him and hear what he say, his response. So I was in class that day. I called him. I texted him. I said, hey, can you talk? He's like, yeah, call me. What's up? So I went out of class. I called him and I asked him. I said, are you married? This motherfucker said, I don't know. You tell me. Am I? And I was just like with an attitude. With an attitude. So then I told him, I said, I'm just asking you, like, just tell me the truth. Like, are you married? And he told me, he said, no, like, I already told you that. We already been over this, like, so many times. Like, I'm not married. And so I told him, I said, okay, so who is this person? Right? Which was the young lady who I had found her page, right? And so he told me, you tell me who she is. Since you know everything, you tell me who she is. I said, I saw a family picture. Now I'm getting mad now because I feel like he playing in my face, right? So I'm like, I saw the family picture. I said, you got a son that you didn't tell me nothing about? I said, is that your son? This motherfucker told me that was not his son. Mind you, this son looks just like him. This son looks more like him than the son who I knew about. I mean, they look like twins. They look exactly alike. He talking about, I don't really know if that's really my son or not. Like he is still continuing on with this lie, right? He tells me that they were in a relationship. This was his ex-wife. They not together no more. He don't know if this son is really his. I mean, and I knew he was lying, you know? And I'm just like, wow, this motherfucker really lying, right? So we in this conversation with I was pissed. So when I left class, I called him back because I just wasn't over the situation, right? This motherfucker like, I could give you her address. Like, she stay over there in Hawthorne. I can give you her address. You can go over there. You can knock on her door. You can go ask her. Like, I'm not with her. Like, man, we already not together. I'm like, so why is she posting you on her Facebook page? He like, cause she can't get over me. Like, we not together. Da, 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 da. He coming up with all this shit. But when he told me that son was not his, I knew he was lying because that son looks just like him. And they were in a family picture together. Like, they were together, okay? And this was recent. This was not no old-ass picture. But he's still continuing on the lie. So I'm like, okay, you know, I just let it go because I knew he was lying, right? And the problem that I had was I was more of, it's crazy because my feelings went from anger to him to now jealousy of the wife who has him in a way that I can't have him. I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but it becomes like, wow, like, why he with her? Like, why her? Like, wow, like, you know, I'm looking at her, I'm comparing the two. I'm comparing the way she looked, the way I look. What do she have going on? Like, what is she doing in her life? What is her career? And like, why I'm not worth it? Like, I start going through all that shit. So I said, I'm finna out this motherfucker. She finna know who I am. I am not y'all. The Delulu, okay? So when I outed this affair via Facebook on his wife's page, I secretly was hoping that she would leave him. Okay. I just thought that she was going to leave him and then me and him could be together. Yes, I was delusional, honey. Okay. It was just no limits to the delusion that I was in, because in my mind, she was in the way. Like, I didn't even see it as a situation where it's like, girl, like, you're a beautiful young woman. You have a lot going for yourself. Like, go find love. Like, go find somebody who appreciates you. Instead, I wanted that spot, even though I knew that he was a liar, even though I knew that he was a cheater, even though I knew that there wasn't really any substance to our relationship other than conversations and intimacy. And when I say intimacy, I use that very loosely. Okay. But I'm just saying, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking she's the problem, right? She needs to go. So when I exposed it, I wanted to make him upset, but I also was hoping that she would leave him. And I remember years down the line when we had spoken about it, he had told me that, you know, she was considering divorcing him when she found out about the affair, but that he told her, I'm not going to let her win, because if I leave, she's going to win. And then he told me that she told him that if Jay-Z can cheat on Beyonce, then who is she? And I was floored, because I was just like, wow. Okay, so let's talk about the exposing. Okay, so her Facebook page was extremely open. Like, you could go to her page, you could comment, you could be a stranger and comment on her page. And so there was a post where it was like a celebratory post. Now, I can't remember what they were celebrating, but I remember there had to be at least 60 plus comments underneath this post where her family and his family was congratulating them on whatever this milestone was. I don't know if they had purchased something or it was an anniversary. Now, mind you, on top of that, I had been going through her page because her page was so open. I'm looking at posts that she made. I'm looking at her friends. I'm looking at, and that's another story, because I found out that her friend, never mind. So on this post, like I said, it was like 60 people who had commented on it. And I was like, this is the post right here. This is the one that's going to do it. I said, because everybody who commented on this post is going to get a notification of what the hell I'm about to say. Just very childish, just very immature, and leading with anger, right? So I put underneath there that, you know, I think I had made a fake page, so it wasn't actually me who posted it. I was pretending to be somebody else, but that I was a friend of that person when really it was me, right? And I put that, you know, while you're celebrating for you and your husband, my friend has been having an affair with your husband for the past couple of years, right? Real coward shit. Like, I didn't even have enough, like just whatever to do it myself, right? I didn't even have enough courage to do it myself. I was on some coward type shit. Let me act like I'm somebody else, whatever, right? So I copied that thing that I posted, and I tried to post this comment on every single thing that I could get my hands on her page, okay? I'm telling you, it didn't take 10 to 15 minutes. He was blowing my phone up. What are you doing? What are you doing? I told him, I said, I thought that you said you wasn't married. Like, so like, why does it even matter? So he admitted that he was married. He admitted that that was his son, that he had lied about it. And he just came clean, right? And then I remember also sending her something in her inbox to prove that I had been with him. And I remember she had responded back to me saying, like, you fucking with the wrong one. Like, I'm not the one, right? I'm not the one nor the two. My coward ass didn't respond because I'm thinking, shit, she a police officer too, so I don't want to come up missing now, you know? So, and mind you, he had told me, right, that like he was thinking about getting rid of me, and that it was his own wife who had talked him out of not doing it. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I think that situation really showed me how I had really no self-worth, how easily manipulated I was, because even when my sister was trying to tell me, I thought she was hating so hard. I'm thinking like, why she don't want to see me happy? Like it, like, and I'm so into him that I'm going back telling him everything. My sister's trying to put me up on game on. I'm like, cause my sister telling me this, and when really I should have just kept that to myself and asked the questions. But instead I'm trying to tell him like, yeah, my sister telling me that like stuff is not adding up and this and that. And it's like, y'all, that whole shit, it was crazy. And even after I found out that he was married, it took me a little while to even break off the relationship. But by the time I did, I'm telling you, this is a years long affair that I was with this guy. This was not like we're talking about, I found out like 2 years later, but it was like 3-4 years in where I finally was like, okay, I need to like to see what my other options are because this shit is not going anywhere. It got to the point where now it was like, we were still talking, and it was like, now that I know, he'll tell me like, yeah, you know, me and my wife, we're going to go do this. Or like, yeah, my son is doing this, you know, my son about to go to this, you know. It was like, now it's more comfortable. And it's so crazy because in my mind, again, I'm really young, y'all, but in my mind, I'm thinking like, I know something that she does not know. So I still felt like when I finally found out the truth that I had a connection with him because he was honest with me. I'm telling you, the shit that you go through in your mind when you're going over a dude and you yourself don't have any self-worth. And it's so crazy because I feel like now where I am in my life now, I kind of feel for women who go through stuff like that, right? I always was somebody who felt like it's not up to me to respect someone's marriage. Like, that's your husband. You guys took vows. I didn't take a vow with you. So I don't owe you that, right? However, I'd never have actively sought after a man, like seen him with his woman and like was like, oh, I want him. Like, never did that type of situation. It was either if it did happen, which is very rare, but if it did happen, it was because I was lied to initially and then got into the situation and then just was like, well, fuck it, I'm already in it. But I've never sat next to a woman and seen her with her husband and was like, oh, I want him. Like, never that. I think that's fucked up. But even still, I still at a point felt like it's not up to the woman or the outside person to care more about your marriage than you do, right? If not me, then it'll be somebody else. It wasn't until I myself got married that I started to really appreciate or got into a relationship, right, where it was done to me. And I was like, damn, why she do me like that? Like, what happened to the girls thing? We not looking out for our girls, you know? Like, you don't have to know me to know that this person is in a relationship and how hurtful that is. And then when that happened to me, I looked at the whole situation completely different. And I was like, wow. Sometimes it takes for you to be in that situation yourself for you to feel empathy and concern over something, right? When you've never been through it, you don't understand the significance of it. But once you've actually been through it, then you start seeing things differently. And that comes with time and that comes with maturity and things like that, where you're like, wow, like I really did that. Like that shit's really fucked up, you know? And I wanted her to hurt when she had done absolutely nothing to me. I wanted her to hurt. I wanted her to feel how I felt. I wanted that shit to be over between them so that I can get in. And it never came, right? But it's like, I didn't even think about the bricks that she had built to be where she was in her marriage and to do with like how that made her feel, me outing her, me doing it on a public forum where it was embarrassing. You know, I just never thought about it. But again, it comes with time. It comes with maturity. As you get older, you grow and you learn. And I just hope that it's a testament to young people to pay attention to the red flags, right? To know that you don't have to be in a situation to care about another woman's hurt. Like, you know, just morally do the right thing, right? Just morally do the right thing. That's what I would say.